Good morning everybody. I've made quite a few of these little YouTube videos now and I'm quite enjoying it. It's quite an interesting, fun thing to do. And it's actually quite difficult, there's a lot to learn. Having watched quite a few YouTube tutorial videos about how to make a good YouTube video, it seems that there's two main areas to concentrate on, one of which is the sound and the other one is the lighting. One thing I've done today, I've actually moved downstairs into, normally I do my filming in the workshop, which is just a spare bedroom, but there's not a lot of natural light in there, so I've moved down into the kitchen where we've got some more windows and better natural light, because I think one of the things that my videos have suffered from is really poor white balance and just not enough light. So lighting is something that I'm going to be looking at in the future. But the other important aspect is the audio quality. At the moment I'm filming these videos using a Lumix digital SLR camera, and it works quite well, but from what I understand the audio on these cameras isn't very good, and a few people have recommended, or rather I've seen on these other YouTube tutorials, that it's good to use a separate microphone and a separate audio recorder. So that's what I've gone ahead and purchased, and my plan today is to try and give it a try and see if it does make any difference. So I bought a Tascam recorder, and the other thing that I'm hoping is going to help is one of these separate lapel microphones. So I guess we better have a look at them. So apparently the audio isn't really very good using a microphone that's built into the camera. And where I'm sat at the moment, I'm sat down in quite a low kitchen chair, and the camera is installed on the kitchen table on a tripod and it's looking down. So the actual microphone on the camera is now some way away from me. And this is quite a big room with hard walls, tiled surfaces. There's no carpet because it's wooden floor in here. So I would have thought that the audio is probably echoing around the room slightly. I don't know, I'll find out when I play it back. But I believe that's not very good from a point of view of audio quality. So the first thing that we've got to address this is a separate microphone. Okay, let's bring you in and we'll have a look at that. So I purchased this microphone on Amazon, and it's manufactured by a company called Audio-Tecnica, and I believe it's some form of probably an electret mic, which has got a built-in amplifier and a microphone which will clip onto your lapel. And I think the idea is that hopefully it will just pick up my voice and not all the background noise in my workshop. I think if any of you've watched any of my previous videos, I've got a swivel chair in there, and it makes the most embarrassing and appalling noises whenever I move. It squeaks and gurgles and farts and makes all kinds of noises, and I promise you some of them noises are not all from me. So hopefully this microphone will make some difference. I'm not going to go into the technical specification, I'm not an expert on audio. I purchased this basically, again, watching YouTube videos, and quite a few people have recommended this microphone. In fact, there was lots of different types of microphones recommended, but I think this was a relatively low cost one at 25 UK pounds. So we thought we'd give that a try. So, is there any instructions? It looks like it's made in the US and we've got a lifetime warranty. which, let's face it, isn't worth anything, because if it fails it's just going to go in the bin. Well, that's something I wasn't really expecting. It looks as though it comes with quite a long wire. I think we should be able to try and plug this in directly into the camera. I'm not sure what type of socket this Lumix camera's got on it, but we'll give that a try in a minute. Yeah, it does look like a long wire. I'm sure that's going to present all sorts of opportunities just to become massively tangled, and I'll probably walk away with the microphone clipped onto my shirt and pull the camera off its tripod. Comes with a clip, and it comes with a little foam wind baffle, which looks surprisingly difficult to get on. Let's try taking that off again, we'll have another go. Okay, yeah, hopefully you can see that. And I'm assuming that this is a power supply for the electret microphone, and maybe it's got an amplifier in it as well. And it says, helpfully, unscrew to access the battery. Okay. Right, I'm just trying to figure out now which way the battery goes up. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, that's the battery inserted. Okay. What I'm just going to do, I'm just going to turn you off a minute, and I'm going to see if there's actually a plug on the side of the camera where I can install this this input jack. Okay, I've got the microphone strapped onto my person now. I'm not going to give you a close-up of myself wearing the microphone, because I think it's more interesting if we just keep that air of mystery. So I'm not going to show any close-up or pictures of myself. You'll maybe just catch the occasional glimpse. So, is the audio any better? I noticed when I plugged the microphone jack into the camera, a little VU meter's appeared, which is quite interesting. And as I'm talking, I can see the VU meter going up and down. So that's good. And hopefully it sounds better. So again, just looking at the box that the microphone came in, it says it's a condenser microphone. It's omnidirectional. It's got a frequency response from 50 Hz to 18 kHz. It's got a sensitivity down to -54 dB, and the input impedance is 1 kilo. The weight of it is 6 grams, and it says it comes with a 6 meter cable length, which is terminated with a 1/8 dual mono mini plug. And I'm going to struggle to pronounce the name of this. Well, the microphone itself is it's an ATR 3350, so that's an ATR 3350, and I think that they call these, is it a lavalier microphone? A lavalier, oh dear. You know, I think the French version here calls it a micro cravat microphone. So yeah, I'm going to call it a micro cravat microphone because I can actually pronounce that. What I'm just going to do is I'll just unplug the microphone now, so be prepared for a little bit of rustling, and well, we'll see if it makes any difference. We've now got the camera connected to the cravat microphone, and I'm hoping that you can hear some improvement. I've actually had to just go back a step and reshoot some of this video, because what I've found is whenever I actually unplug the microphone from the camera, the video keeps recording, but it then stops recording the audio channel. So I've had to come back and re-record quite a lot of this little video. So apologies if some things aren't very well synchronized or it jumps around a little bit, because there's some footage missing, and it's always difficult to try and put back the missing parts. So what we'll do is we'll just swap backwards and forwards a couple of times, and perhaps you can listen for yourself and tell me if it makes a difference. Okay, we're now using the microphone that's built into the Lumix camera. Let's swap back to using the cravat microphone. We're using the cravat microphone now. Now we're using the built-in Lumix microphone. Hopefully there's a difference there. And for the rest of this video, I think we'll go back to using the cravat microphone, because I do think when I was looking at it in the editing process, it is slightly better. It's slightly less echoey, and I think that it does cancel out some of the background noise. Now, just to keep everything in line with this channel's ambition, you have to remember that we have all the gear and no idea. So, just to try and keep that going is an audio recorder that I purchased. I did mention earlier that some of the tutorials I've seen on other YouTube videos say that the audio recording quality built into the cameras aren't actually very good, and they recommend that you use a separate source to record the audio. So to do that, I've purchased this Tascam recorder. I'm just going to have to turn that round because I can't read it upside down. It's the Tascam DR-05, DR-05. There seemed to be a couple of these units recommended on the internet, and opinion seems split between them. This one is the Tascam unit, and the other very popular one that I could see, I believe, is made by a company called Zoom. I don't know if it's called the Zoom one. Technically, I don't think there's I'm going to find any difference between them, but the reason that I purchased the Tascam unit is that it looked as though the Tascam had more buttons on it. Now, it wasn't just that I have a simple fetish for buttons, although I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm a great believer in that buttons are great and more is better. But it's obviously easy if you want to fast forward or play or stop. It looked as though it was easier to operate the Tascam unit than the Zoom one, which I could only really see one push button on the front. So I don't know if that has buttons on the back or the side, or maybe it operates from menus. But the Tascam just looked as though it had a better user interface. So let's have a look at that. So USB cable, got a drawer full of them. Operating manual. Boring. Right, okay, here's the Tascam unit. Seems okay. Buttons click. Couple of built-in microphones. What else has it got? It's got a headphones line out, and it's got a microphone input, which is probably what I will be using with this cravat microphone. And it's come with some alkaline batteries. Okay, I'm just going to pause this video because I'm sure these are the type of batteries that are quite likely to just be shit and leak everywhere. So rather than installing these, I'm just going to run upstairs to my workshop just to see if I've got any better. If not, it will be I'll be installing these shitty leak bags instead. Unfortunately, it does appear that all the batteries I have in my collection upstairs are equally crap. I did manage to find some Duracell batteries, but I really hate Duracell batteries. It's funny, probably going off topic, but Duracell batteries are sold as being these wonderful batteries that you know, they last longer and they're so wonderful, and you know, they last 5 to 6 times longer. Well, they're certainly 5 or 6 times more expensive. But what I've personally found is that these Duracell batteries, they just leak. I've never found batteries that leak quite as badly as Duracells. What I tend to do with most of the equipment I own is that, you know, you buy a piece of electronics equipment or a piece of test equipment, and you know, you may pay a few or even several £100s for some of this equipment, and what do? You go out and you try and do your best. You buy what you think are the best quality batteries, which is probably Duracell, because the marketing certainly keeps telling you how good they are, and you install these Duracell batteries. You don't use the piece of equipment for a few months, and then when you come to use it, you find it doesn't work. The batteries are flat. You open the battery compartment and they're just full of gunge and everything's corroded away. And I have to say that, you know, because I always used to take care of my equipment, I used to buy a lot of Duracell batteries. And what I've actually found over the years is that the cheaper batteries generally didn't leak. Whereas the Duracell batteries, which I'd paid the extra in the belief that I was getting something special, would always leak. So for pretty much every piece of equipment I own now, I do prefer to spend the money and get good batteries. I actually usually buy the lithium batteries if there's an option to. Not every battery gives you that option, but yeah, again, the lithium batteries are ridiculously expensive, but they last a long time. And since I've been using lithium batteries, I've never had a leak and I've never had a piece of equipment damaged. And as I say, if you're paying several £100s for a piece of equipment, don't skimp on the batteries, because you know, you'll put it on the shelf, come back 6 months later, and it'll be ruined. So we've installed the batteries now. Hopefully the right way up, probably are. And not read the instructions, so do we have to switch it on? I don't know, maybe press the record button. No, oh yeah, there's an on button there, okay. I think it needs to be that way up for you, looks like that's the on button. And it lights up, and it's giving me an option to be in English. I wonder what the accept button is. I'm going to guess that it's that one. Okay, and let's just see if pressing record makes it record. I'm assuming that it will. Oh no, maybe not. Ah, it wants me to set the date and all that rubbish. Okay, I'm not going to put through the pain of you watching me set the date and time, so we'll get those set and we'll come back. Well, you know, I just had a really close call there. For a minute I thought I was going to have to read the manual, but yeah, just pressed a load of buttons and seems to be working. Seems quite a nice little unit. What I think we should do next is we should just try give it a quick and crude test. We'll record some audio using the built-in microphones on this Tascam unit, and we'll have a listen to them. And then what we will do is we will have a listen to the audio with the cravat mic plugged directly into the Tascam unit rather than the camera, and listen to that audio. The audio that we're listening to at the moment as I'm speaking, again, we're using the cravat microphone, and that's plugged in directly to the Panasonic camera. So you're listening to audio which is directly recorded onto the video footage. So let's give this a try, and hopefully if I can figure it out in the editing suite, the next audio you hear should be recorded on this directly using these Tascam microphones. So let's have a go at that. Okay, we've just started a test recording using the Tascam internal microphones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm just trying to listen to that in internal speakers. I can hardly hear anything. So I think probably what we did wrong is didn't have the microphone levels set up correctly. So let's have another go at recording that. So the unit is recording, and I hope you can see that the VU meters are bouncing up and down, and it has got a marker on it, and that's where I've roughly set the audio level to. To change the audio level, it's these two buttons here, right and left. I was kind of wondering, right, okay, we've got a peak indicator flashing now. I just increased the audio input level to it, and I'll keep going just so we can make it peak a bit more. Right, well that's full on now. If I kind of more speak into it, it's you can't try and keep it in camera. If I speak into it, I'll shout a bit louder. We can see it's peaking, but I don't think we want it quite that loud. So let's turn it down a little bit so we're not getting the peak light anymore. And the bars are. It's just going up to the marker on the display, so I'm assuming that's telling you that's probably a correct audio setting. The LED is flashing at the moment because it's not actually recording. It's kind of it's paused. If I press the button again, it'll start recording. So let's have another go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop recording. And if I press play, we should be able to play that back, again using the internal speaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop recording. Okay, well that seemed to work, and the audio levels seem quite loud. The internal speaker on this thing doesn't seem particularly good, but I don't think it's meant to be. It allows you to do a little bit of monitoring, just check that you've actually recorded the track, and that's good enough. So I think the next thing to do is we'll unplug this cravat microphone from the camera, and we will plug it into the Tascam unit, and we will adjust the audio level, and we'll give it another record and see what it comes out as. We have the cravat microphone plugged into the microphone input, and what we'll try to do in this video is we'll try and overlay the audio track which has been recorded via the camera at the moment, and we'll overlay that with the audio track that we're recording into the Tascam. At least we'll have a go at that anyway. This is a recording test using the cravat microphone, which is wired into the Tascam audio input. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop recording. This is a recording test using the cravat microphone, which is wired into the Tascam audio input. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop recording. This is a recording test using the cravat microphone, which is wired into the Tascam audio input. 1, 2, 3, 4.